let's see if this works. Can anyone hear me? Looks like it's good. Everyone doing all right? So, hi guys. Just coming on tonight a little bit later than normal for us, but just on time for what we're doing. Tonight we're having a crossover event, and that crossover event is with ADHaDventures, very good friends of ours, and we love them very much. So much that we gave them two of our folks to take onto their stream in order to torture them and crush them and, hopefully make them cry. That's just my hope, being the cruel and sadistic bastard that I am. Thank you very much, your mom. So as soon as ADH goes live and I've got Twitch up over here and I'm watching it, we're going to go raid them to give them a good little spark and jump. But in the meantime, I'm just actually working on something for our stream. Basically, I am in my Adobe and I have been building these little animations. Let me open up this one. So this is the one I made for Milagros' character in our game on Monday nights. And I'm going to be doing these for all of our shows from now on because I like them. But here is what it looks like. It plays through and it has timers on it, and it actually types out the entire name. Is that letting you see it? Oh, let me recapture that for you real quick. Looks like I need to change it to the actual Photoshop again. Oop. There we go. Interesting. There's that. Odd. Alright, let's do this. Changing this up a bit, because that didn't come out, but it's easy enough to rectify. I just have to not bring up any porn because I'm just going to capture the window. You know how it is, guys. Very interesting. I wonder why it won't let me see it. Very odd. So anyway, I was hoping to show you this, but it's not being reasonable. You can see it scrolling through in the bottom, but you can't see it in the window. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Bien, ¿y tú? And that's the end of my Spanish. We're just chit-chatting right now because we're waiting for our sister channel, ADHaDventures, to come up so we can go raid them, because we are doing a crossover event with them tonight, and they are going to be doing a little bit of RP with some of our players from our show, our regular show, and we're going to be doing that with them, or they're going to be doing that with them over there, and we are going to be joining their audience to make sure that they have a great time and that we talk to them and chat them up and make sure that we appreciate everything they're doing, because, as we say 100,000 times, the biggest serotonin boost you can have is to have people actually come in and say hi while you're actually doing something. In the meantime, I was going to be working on something, but apparently I can't show it to you, and that really sucks, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Nothing's ever easy, folks. Well, hell. This is not working, so I'm not going to... Wait, share? Interesting. All right, to heck with this. I'm not going to bother with that anymore. So, in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and jump off that, and we're going to see what we can do to give you guys something to talk about. But anyway, so like I said, normally what we would have tonight is we would have our Tuesday night stream, which is a World of Darkness stream, which basically is 20th anniversary World of Darkness. All the different all the different aspects. We play what's called a Orphans campaign, which is basically where you play vampires or werewolves or changelings or mages or whatever you have it, and you play that and kind of create your own little motley / coterie / whatever to survive in the World of Darkness. And we've been playing that for around 30 episodes now, and we're getting ready to wrap up the first big, I guess you'd say, the first big story arc, which is going to come into a close really quick. And it's going to be basically the first year of the campaign's coming to an end. But before we do that, and because our good friends over at ADHaDventures have just finished their first season of their major arc, we decided we do a little crossover. And so what we're doing is we're having 2 of our players from our stream are going to be on their stream tonight. And they're going to be playing characters who are going to be pretty much one-shots. But at the same time, they're definitely going to be characters that are going to be canon within their story. So they're joining their actual story tonight, and they're going to be playing those characters on their stream live. And all I'm doing for right now is they're supposed to be going on in about 20 minutes-ish. So I'm just on here getting you guys together, and as soon as it comes up that they're going live, we're going to go raid them. I was going to work on some stuff for my streams, but my Adobe won't present on my screen, so yeah, even when I capture the window, it wouldn't present. So real weird stuff. Don't know why that was, but in the meantime, I am just going to go ahead and yeah, can't do any of that. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and play some Minecraft. This is our server in our Discord. We have it open to our Discord members, and I'm going to jump into it, and I'm going to be playing on my survival mode version. Just probably running around mining and doing the usual crap that you do in survival mode, while you guys wait with me and we kind of chit chat. So if anyone's out there and wants to ask any questions about any of the streams, if you guys watch, I would be happy to answer those. We have 3 different GMs. Myself, I run 3 shows. I run Emerald Sanctums, which is our Tuesday night Orphans campaign from World of Darkness. I run Kingdoms of Mist, which is our D&D 5e, which is tomorrow night, and it's going to be happening as normal. Excuse me. And then I also run an every other Friday Crossing the Veil show, which is basically it's a Firefly RPG. It was originally created to be played in the Cortex system. It still is. It's a Cortex-based game. But the big thing about it is that they lost the rights to Firefly. So what's going on now is that they basically I have a copy of the game, but I also have it on PDF. But the nice thing about Cortex system is that it's a universal system. So you could still create the Firefly game using the Cortex system. You don't have to have the actual set of rules. It's a little more difficult because you have to make it's a very good system. It's a very narrative heavy system, but it's doable for this, and it's very cinematic, absolutely cinematic. The players almost act like mini GMs. They can literally take over scenes, they can dictate outcomes. It's just an excellent, amazing system. And for a cinematic situation like Firefly, with all the mechanics built into it for callbacks, flashbacks, and stuff like that, it's just built and designed for cinematic roleplay. So I love the system itself, and of course, huge fan of Firefly. Maybe not of Joss Whedon, but of Firefly itself. So we just play that one every other Friday. The opposite Friday, one of our in-house GMs, Ivy Shadow, who is going to be one of the people who's going to be on ADHaDventures tonight, Ivy Shadow runs our D&D 5e Pure Havoc campaign, which is her campaign that's set in her homebrew world, and that campaign is built around the concepts of recreating Suicide Squad, but in a D&D high fantasy setting. So, and that one happens every other Friday night. So this Friday night it's going to be our Cortex Firefly game. Next Friday it's going to be Ivy Shadow's actual game of 5e Pure Havoc. So that's going to be that. Saturday mornings at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, because we just don't believe in not torturing ourselves. We play Monster Hearts 2. Monster Hearts 2 is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. If you ever play Powered by the Apocalypse, it is a Cowboys in Space. Yes, excellent improv about Cowboys in Space. Massive. But that game is Powered by the Apocalypse based, which is a system. It's another system that is very narrative heavy, but it's also designed to be system light. So this means that you can literally whip out the book, pick out characters, make characters, and build out a narrative and a world and be playing within like 30 minutes to an hour. That's how mechanics light this game is. Now, that does not mean that there's not mechanics to it. It just means that a lot of it is left up to the narrators and the actual gameplay itself. They don't want to crowd everything out with the concepts of, you have to do, algebra in order to be able to actually play a game. They want you to be able to jump in and be able to play the game right away. And so that's kind of the concept behind it all. And it is a great game. And I think out of all the systems that I currently play with and in, I really enjoy Powered by the Apocalypse. Probably my favorite. Every single one of them is unique. They have different skins, and the skins are what you actually use to play the game. So that's kind of the basis for it. And then you can create unique and individual abilities that are per skin. What's this? Okay. I don't... okay. I'm not going to check for an update right now. Sorry. I'll check for an update in a little bit. But yeah, so it's kind of a very strong game for folks who spend literally go sessions without touching a die. And that's not to say that you don't want to use the mechanics. The mechanics are great. But for those of you who come from D&D, it's going to be, and you haven't played anything else yet, it's going to be one of those jumps that is hard to adjust to quickly. Because initiative, there isn't one. The storyteller just decides who goes next. And who goes first and whatever, based on what the narrative positioning of everyone is. Another odd thing about it compared to everything else is that the storyteller does not have any mechanics to deal with directly. The storyteller is sitting there and he basically is pretty much narrating the scenes, but doesn't make a single roll. The storyteller just sits there and rolls no dice at all, and he basically, or he or she, they basically are just narrating what happens. Now, the reason that works is the characters themselves will have a lot of die rolls that are determine the outcome, because it's not a straight success or straight failure rolls. There is one aspect of it that is, and that is if you roll it's a 2d6 system. So if you roll a 10 or higher on the 2d6 system, you basically get you basically succeed with no repercussions. If you roll a 12 or higher, because with modifiers you can get higher, you get to dictate how you succeed. Now, if you roll a 9 or lower, down to a 6, so a 7, 8, or 9. If you roll a 7, 8, or 9, you basically at that point are succeeding, but there's a caveat to it. So you kind of succeed but fail at the same time. Something doesn't go perfectly well, and that's where the storyteller comes in with the narrative. In a combat situation, you often, like, if you're in close combat with somebody and you're using a sword or using your claws or whatever, because whatever character you're playing, and you do damage to them, you're still going to inflict your damage. But in almost every single version of combat, even when you succeed, all the way up to an 11, you take damage too. It's just part of the narrative that combat is deadly, and there's no real way to go through combat and not get hurt. Now, they may take a lot more damage than you. Failing does ADHaDV is, yeah, 6 lower is a technical failure. And by technical failure, of course, what we're talking about is, depending on the narrator and the narrator's wants for the scene, you could fail outright. You could succeed but have some really strong repercussions happen, or you could honestly succeed and not know what's going to happen next, because the storyteller can choose to withhold whatever consequences are coming for later. And so, and that's that's one thing. Star Stories, our storyteller for our Monster Hearts game, that's one thing she does very well. She does not always make us instantly fail when we roll a failing roll. She very often tells us, all right, well, that didn't work. And then we're left to guess what's going to happen because it didn't work, because they don't tell us. And it's totally fun. Hey, Captain Warrior King. We're just waiting on the actual ADHaDventures stream to start, and we're going to go raid them. And I'm playing Minecraft on a Minecraft server. Oh, by the way, if anyone has Minecraft that's in our Discord, you can jump into our Discord and log into our Minecraft server and join in. I think this one only has 10. I'm still on the free version. You can find the links to all our socials in our link tree there. But this one is pretty much the server I'm building out right now. It's small. 10-man server, but if people like it, we'll definitely build out something bigger later on. I'm just doing this as a test to see if anyone even wants to play. And of course, I'm boring. I love doing survival. I'm sitting here at the bottom of the earth mining away. But yeah, I haven't even really built any structures. The nearest thing I built was a place to put cows, and that was it. And I totally cheated. I didn't even it doesn't look super nice. It's not fenced in. It's got double thick earthen walls and then a little bit of fence between it and the water. And oh yeah, I should probably go check on my crops too. Red Dead Redemption 2. Oh, it must be raining upstairs. A big pelt of thunder just scared the shit out of me. I have actually never played Red Dead Redemption 2. Kilt, I mean, I've seen and heard thousands of good things about it, but I have never actually played it. No, is that scary noise? Come here. Yeah, I'm giving myself motion sickness. I gotta fix these stairs. I just hated jumping all the way up here, so I literally made like 300 staircases and put them in here. I may be a little bit, overzealous in my conceptualization of building this crap out. So this is my little hidey hole, my hobbit home. What is that? Yeah, it's raining. It's raining, it's pouring, so I'm not going to show you anything outside because, frankly, I die a lot, and I don't like it. So, but the whole big... Oops, wrong way. The whole big thing about the game that we played... Tell them about the zombie that rolled me. So, I was playing the other day, and I was jumping up a lot to help out with my wife and everything like that, and I jumped up and forgot to park my character back in my hobbit hole before I jumped up. And as I was running, as I came back in here, of course, I thought I heard something in my den with me. But as I jumped up and came back in here after helping my wife out, naturally, it was I was dead, and I was wearing a full suit of common plate mail, and had my weapon on me. So I come back out here, and he was in this hole right here. There was a zombie with my sword, wearing my plate mail armor, standing in this hole. Ow, stupid! Ow. Where are you? Boom, said the boom. Boom, said the dynamite. I'm gonna go find this stupid skeleton. But, yeah, so I came out and I had been rolled by a freaking zombie. Yeah, you're shooting me. Stop it. Oh, look. A walking bomb. There you go, you asshole. Alright, so yes, I basically... Oh, I blew a hole in my own roof. Now I gotta fix that before wandering monsters come along and jump in, because they will do that shit. But, yeah, I got rolled by a skeleton, and he took all my shit. Or not skeleton, but a zombie. It was actually great. It was funny as hell. You can ask Jessica. I came out, and I was just like, oh my god, you won't believe what happened. I got rolled by a fucking zombie. So, yeah. But, yeah. Back to what I was saying about the games. We have, with the Monster of the Week game, which is Powered by the Apocalypse. Not Monster of the Week, sorry. The Monster Hearts 2 game, which is a Powered by the Apocalypse game. There is a lot of room for your narrative challenges in it that are really focused around making sure that you keep the story ahead of worrying about mechanics or worrying about anything else. So because of that, you basically have this great opportunity to tell really strong stories that don't do a lot of losing focus based on heavy mechanics that are drawing you away from the story. That's one of my biggest complaints with D&D, is that the story is often falls to a secondary role to the actual mechanics of the game itself. Whoa, you little shithead. How's it gonna die? I'm gonna go inside and eat something. Get out of my way, cows. But, yeah, so a lot of times with the mechanics of 5e and a lot of other country games like GURPS and stuff like that, you lose a lot of the narrative to the fucking story. First Red Dead. Yeah, I know. I've heard it's a cowboy simulator. I actually heard some people who actually played Red Dead. Who was it? There was someone on TTRPG TikTok. He was saying, "Oh, where did I get a magic bow? Oh, nice. I don't even know where I got that from." But he was saying that he and his friends were playing Red Dead Redemption, and then after they started playing Red Dead Redemption, they were like, we need to find a role-playing game to mimic this. And they started playing this game called Aces and Eights, which is not just... It's a very mechanic-heavy game, and apparently it actually has a hit region on the body for when you're like shooting at people. So like you don't just shoot somebody and kill them. You could like wing somebody and hit them in the shoulder, or just basically not do a lot of damage, but break their thigh bone because you shot them with a fucking gun. And so it's really those are mechanic heavy games, but it's more like the mechanic is built into the narrative, so it gives the narrative a reason to exist rather than just having the mechanic be another blocker to getting through this narrative. Oh, that... No wonder those fucking shots hurt. That little shithead was shooting me with a magic bow. I eat steak. Those lightning strikes scare the shit out of me. Aces, Eights? Yeah, it is very much a heavily mechanic-based system that comes around to when you're like sitting there and you're doing a gunfight, right? And you're sitting there, you're doing that standoff. You can really replicate that with Aces and Eights. And then when you do the quick draw and you fire, you know, you can do that whole scene where, like, if you're good enough, you can do the whole scene where, like, all right, I shoot, but I don't want to hurt him. I'm going to wean him through the hip. And I want to make sure he goes down, so I'm going to wean him through his left hip because he's right-handed, and he's drawing his holster, so he's automatically leaning down the left hip. So I'm going to shoot him through the left hip. And so, and you know, depending on the die rolls and everything like that, and how well you place your shot, you could literally call it. Of course, you might also be a bad shot and mean to shoot him in the hip and pop him right through the throat. Damn, my environmental sounds are way too high in this game. Hang on a second. Let me turn my environmental sounds down, because that's some loud shit. Burp, said the cow. Where are the sounds? Audio. Oh, this is why. There. Now you can actually hear something. Oh my god. Really? Make a liar out of me that fast? Let's turn the music up a little bit, because everyone knows the Minecraft music is relaxing. Let's see. ADH is still not on. Well, but they said about 8:30, so it's good. But like I said, if any of you have Minecraft and you want to join, you can go into our Discord, and you can find the link in our Discord server. You know, the game for Celtic Reverend King, I think, is referring to is our Friday night game, every other Friday night game, which is a game based around Firefly, the TV show, and it is a game played using the Cortex system. The Cortex system is incredibly heavily narrative driven, like we said, and instead of having hit points or anything like that, the Cortex system actually does a little bit different, because it gives you conditions. And a condition starts out at pretty much 1, which is in the system a D4. And then it goes from there. It keeps on stepping up in dice in the polyhedral dice set. The only dice it doesn't use is a D20, but a condition starts out. Actually, no, sorry. Condition starts out at a D6, and it can be stepped up all the way up. And if it gets to a D12, the condition takes you out of the game. Conditions can be both physical conditions, like Celtic Reverend King, his character got shot. He was trying to fake his own death, and he ended up actually getting shot. So it was pretty good, actually. It was fun. No problem, Numbers. Numbers, we're going to be rating ADHaDventures, so look for us over there. The link is actually in our Discord, so you can find it there too. But yeah, so we basically had a situation where we do the whole he was trying to fake his own death. He was on the battlefield. They're actually at the Battle of Serenity Valley, and instead of faking his own death, he got shot. And that condition kept on going up and down the entire time, because it was an ongoing wound for like several scenes. And you know, every time something bad happened, he would, like, because Corey, the Hipster GM, his character was kind of the medic, and so he kept on patching him up. And there was one scene where Corey's character was jumping onto the ship, and Celtic's character grabbed him and rolled horribly to pull him on board the ship as they were taking off. And so basically the scene went out with Celtic reached out with the shot arm, the shoulder, and grabbed him, and knew that if he didn't hold on to him, that he was going to fall out the ship, and that the Alliance were right there chasing them. So he held on to him, managed to pull him in the ship, but because the roll was bad, he basically tore open all the tore the wound open, and undid all the patchwork that the Hipster GM's character had done to him previously, and made his condition worse. So it was great, because, you know, that wound stayed around, and then anytime anything bad happened that was physical, we just either stepped up or something bad or good. We stepped up or stepped down the condition, and it was just a great freaking little thing to go with. Yes, it was. He grabbed him okay, but you know, it was an okay grab. It was a good situation for RP and for actual character development and everything like that within the narrative, because he basically says, I grab him and pull him in the ship, and but he said, and I yell punch it on the intercom, and I grab him and pull him in the ship. And so the pilot was like, all right, and punches it. And you guys have seen those ships on Firefly, they take off with a lot of G. And so basically he grabbed him with one arm, was holding on to the door frame with the other arm, and was pulling him in right as they punched it. And then just like, all that tension on that shoulder that he'd already been shot through, and it had been stitched up temporarily, and it was just like, pah, and yeah, it was rough. I know he's gonna have to pay back the med bill for all the medical supplies he's used up. But it's not a horrible situation in the fact that it's money, because that's another thing about heavy narrative games, like as an example, Powered by the Apocalypse. You usually don't worry about day-to-day expenses. Another great game for this is 7th Sea. In 7th Sea, you don't really worry about day-to-day expenses. You mainly worry about you're a hero. Oh shit, ow. That hurt. Oh, it killed a lot of my fucking pasture. How'd he get in there? Did you guys do something bad again? Why is there... You did. No, you can't get up there. How the fuck did he get in there? There must be enough shadow here to where he could spawn at night. Whew, that was interesting. I gotta farm all this shit for the cows eat it all. Because I don't have any fence on me. So whatever I don't farm here, the cows are gonna eat. But yeah, so the mechanic is built to be very narrative driven, and in 7th Sea, it's a Cortex-based system with a lot of modification. So you guys would be familiar with it, Kel and Corey, because you guys have enough experience with this to be able to get it down, because it's something you'd easily pick up on and understand. But at the same time, it's different enough that it's going to create some good opportunities for expanding your knowledge of other RPG systems. And I fucking love 7th Sea to death. I played in a 5 or 6 year campaign of the original, and then first edition 7th Sea, and I ran like a 6 or 7 year campaign. They were kind of at the same time. It wasn't like 2 different consecutive time periods, but it was possibly one of the best campaigns that I have ever run. And then the other one was one of the best campaigns I had ever played in. I actually don't have any fencing. That's weird. I thought I had fencing. But yeah, so it's one of those things. You have to have a clear idea of what you want a mechanic to do for your game, because that's one thing a mechanic can definitely do, is derail a game. I mean, I don't know if anyone else has had that experience, but which one, Jessica? The 7th Sea first edition or second edition? Because second ed is very, very different than first ed, and it can be off-putting for players of first ed if they're not really used to it, because that is a very different system. Cortex is very different than 7th Sea. If anyone has ever played, what's the name of the game? Oh my goodness. L5R, Legend of the Five Rings. If everyone's ever played L5R, then you will know about what the system is that 7th Sea is based around. Because that system is pretty much the same one that L5R uses. That's 7th Sea first edition, that is. So in that case, it's kind of easy to find. Get back in there, stupid sheep. I don't like sheep no more. Let me fix my stupid wall. That the stupid thing blew up. But anyway, as I was talking about. And so it can be a very much kind of like learning curve to jump from one system to the other. Oops, 5. Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. There's that. And and so, yeah, that's a big part of it. Which version do they play on the 7C podcast? That's the big thing. The versions of 7C are wildly different. I haven't even looked at the magic setup in the new version of 7C because we've only played one real game of it, and we only played like a few sessions. So we didn't play enough to really do more than dabble and get our feet wet. So, I mean, I would love to hear what what system you were listening to. Yeah, okay, so it's second ed. Yeah, I mean, that's just it. When you come into second ed, well, you come into a Cortex system, that it's, like I said, it's just the simple fact that it has so much flexibility built in. And that's how you kind of know that you're going to be able to create whatever you feel you need for your RP situations just based on the flexibility of the Cortex system itself. It's not a given that it's superior, because I'm sure that there are going to be people who like first ed much better on 7C, but it's one of those things that I think that if you are someone who really enjoys narrative-based games, you're not going to be disappointed to bring in Cortex into your library of games. It is definitely one that lends itself to that narrative, and it's definitely one that lends itself to... Man, I don't want to see it's user-friendly or new player-friendly, but it is... It's got a familiar enough dice pool and a familiar enough setting. When we first played it, it was kind of rough getting those first initial mechanics down. When we played in Firefly, Jonathan, old school Dagger, one of our very good friends, he is a mechanics savant. He is incredible about learning and experimenting with mechanics. One second. And so it's really cool to have him on the stream, because I literally just, if we play a new game system that Jonathan's played, I literally just go to Jonathan and be like, what are we doing? Just tell me what we need to do and I'll do it, because this is a completely new system to me. And I guarantee you, Jonathan's played it. The man is an absolute machine when it comes to TTRPGs. He loves them, and he is definitely all about making sure everyone has a good experience with them. And that's, I think, one of the best things about having Jonathan on the stream, is that just by having him in place, I feel more relaxed about taking on a new system, because he makes it easy. Because if I have any questions about it, I just ask him, and then he answers, and it's kind of cool. And it's cool to not have to worry about you, stupid cow. Anyway, hi folks, how you doing? That stupid cow got out. I didn't know where that llama came from. It's probably stealing all my foods. Why are you going sideways? God damn it. Where'd the fence go? One moment while I fix my life. There we go. All right. So, hi guys, how you doing? But yeah, so it comes down to, how do you like your mechanics? How do you like your narrative? What do you think you want to have as how heavy do you want your system to be? You know, there is a game that I love that is incredibly heavy. Like literally I had to do, okay, it's a superhero game, okay? And I played a character that his superpower was he could change his density. Okay? And I never... Oh yeah, thank you very much, Numbers. And Crossing the Veil is very much... It's because of the open narrative makeup of Crossing the Veil that it works out so well. So, you know, it's that open freedom to be able to explore the narrative and not have to really worry about repercussions, because you have so much mechanics in place that you cannot even in any way, shape, or form fathom how you're going to... Come here, cow. Stupid cow. Dumb cow. Yes, everyone come running over to me. Come running over to me. Everybody, yeah. I didn't know you got out, stupid sheep. Okay. Ow. Fuck. Goddamn. I'm getting trampled. I'm going to be killed. I'm going to be killed by cows and sheep and more cows and more sheep. I'm trying to make sure everyone gets fed, because you guys are super horny cows making baby cows. I got to get out of here before I attract a monster and it just blows up and destroys my fence again. Poor merchant, I somehow stole his llama. So yeah, I mean, it depends on what type of narrative. Jonathan's not a kept secret of Dag. Jonathan is like mechanics overlord. That's all I got to say about that. Not overlord, mechanics expert. Yeah. No, it was not Mask. Mask is a Power by the Apocalypse game. It is called Champions. It is a very old game. But it is a game where you can mimic any fucking superpower you want in the game system. It depends on how many points you have to start with, how many points you're going to give your players, etc., etc. It's a point-based build system. It's by Palladium Games. So if anyone's ever paid... I think it's by Palladium. Let me double check. I don't want to lie to you. Where are you? There. Oh, you're over there. Let me check. Champions TTRPG. Oh wow, there's even a new version out. Aaron Alston. Did someone buy it? Hero Games. Looks like someone bought it from Palladium. I don't know why. First post was 91. Was inspired by Superhero 2044. The Fantasy Trip. Yeah, uses character points. Yeah. It's very heavily based on Dungeons and Dragons 2nd edition setup. So you have attributes, you have skills, then you have superpowers. Superpowers can give you new attributes like invulnerability and stuff like that. Super speed, stuff like that. Yeah, Jonathan is the gaming Wikipedia for sure. Oh, sorry, I was looking back and reading what you said earlier, Jessica. The one we got married in. We didn't get married. An NPC I created that everyone fell in love with, and your character got married. We got married before that. But we may have gotten married because of it. So, and so, but yes, the and Numbers. The big thing about what I was trying to say is the big thing about the whole interoperability of the game with that is that's not a game system. That is a more of something along the lines dealing with the individual players within your game. You want to make sure that when you join a game and you play a game, you are playing with people you want to be playing with. You know what I mean? So if you want to have a game where you're going to have the best time possible, you need to make sure the people you play with are going to have that as a whole end goal. You know, you need to make sure that the people you're playing with have the same ideas and the same concepts of what they want out of a game. Oh, they're on. Okay. So let me get to ADHaDventures. So what we're going to do, guys, is I'm going to go ahead and send us over to ADHaDventures, and we will go ahead and say hi to them, and we're going to raid them, and we're going to see, we're going to watch their game tonight. And thank you guys all for being here. I know it was this little quickie thing. I just wanted to come on and say hi, and I wanted to come on and capture anyone who did not know that we are doing a crossover with ADHaDventures tonight. And I love you guys very much. Let's go ahead and see if I can find them on the raid system, and I will go ahead and raid them. Oh, I can't spell. All right, we're going to go raid ADHaDventures. You guys, we will see you tomorrow night for Kingdoms of Mist. We will see you Friday for Crossing the Veil. We will see you Saturday morning for the Breakfast Club. And I hope you have a great night. And let's go say hi. And we're going to go have a great time watching that one blonde nerd torture all of her players and throwing in my two players, Ivy Shadow and Star Shard Stories, and seeing just how bad it can get. We love you guys very much. We'll talk to you later, and we'll see you next time. Oh, God. The stupid button reset again. Twitch is not perfect in any way, shape, or form, but I am probably worse than Twitch. So now we're going to go. We'll see you later. Have a good night.